Turn right on alley, then turn left. Turn left on alley. Continue 0.1 miles, then make a U-turn.
What am I filming? Rin Marie. Plus baby. X-Rev. Alkali. Pandas. And Roxas. Roxas. Roxas.
We can see you through the curtain, Roxas.
I know you can't. Shh.
I'm a person, thank you. Not a chair. Welcome everybody to IFC 2013. Back to school. As my name was repeated many times in monotone fashion, it is Roxas, and I want to welcome. Firstly, I want to go ahead and thank our special guests that we have coming to the con. That would be our guest of honor, Bravo. Please stand up wherever you are. Everybody. Tora will be the one to impress you wherever he is. He's over here. Tora will be the one to impress you with all of the things that you have now and own that Bravo has done for you that you don't even know. Our fursuit of honor, Twitch. And if you haven't seen already, the IFC t-shirt is the IndyFurCon Wolves, modeled after Twitch. I was going to say, come on up, show it out. Good job. IndyFurCon Wolves rule! I'm just kind of glad he didn't shriek. So, let's see, we have, is Uncle Kage here yet?
Not yet.
Yes, he is, okay. I apologize. He was kind of slouched down. I want to thank him for coming out and doing what he's doing, which is being Uncle Kage, so everybody applaud him for that. And applaud that he's drinking his coffee. All right, and then we have two as well. He will be arriving a little bit later this afternoon because, of course, comedians have to be fashionably late for no reason. So from there, I'm going to stop talking because I'm nervous. Yeah. And I'm going to have, thank you for cheering for that. Think about what you're applauding. Okay, first person that's going to be talking to you is going to be our operations manager, Rin. She has her daughter, Sadie.
Present to the media, or you're going to present to the nice little lady downstairs who came in to have a drink at the bar. The rules are the same. At some point, somebody is going to come up to you during a convention and they're going to say, the age-old question, what is all this? And I have seen so many furries give exactly the wrong answer. Because at that moment, here is a person who wants to understand what we are doing here. They are curious enough to want to inquire. They want to know what all this is. This is your golden opportunity to put an impression in their mind that this is something as wonderful, as spectacular, as warm, as fuzzy, as delightful as we know it to be. And so many people completely lose that chance. So if I were to walk up to you, just random schmo in the lobby, and say, what is all this?
Anthropomorphics.
Anthropomorphics, okay. Not too bad an answer. The thing is, I got a 5th grade education. I'm from Indiana. I'm going to be like, anthro what?
Cartoon animals.
Thank you! Cartoon animals. Okay, if you got a bunch of Dartmouth PhDs, you can say anthropomorphics. They'll be like, oh yes, exquisite. Yes, I understand that. But for your average guy or gal on the street, cartoon animals. Why did you use the term cartoon animals? And don't say because I've seen this talk before. You've seen the talk before. Okay. People have a tendency to want to leap to the defense immediately. Why is that? Because furries have gotten a bum rap in the past. Mm-hmm. We have gotten kicked around, we've gotten beat up by the popular entertainment press. Not the media per se, but the popular entertainment press. They have painted us with a very, very broad, very unfair, and very embarrassing brush. That's sticking in the back of our minds. I heard some people muttering about CSI. Oh yes, my favorite 3 letters in the alphabet. The thing is, there is that defensiveness, that, oh my God, I must save the family, this person probably has heard horrible things about us. Actually, no, they probably haven't. If they had, they wouldn't be asking, right? You don't want to say, it's a furry convention. That's our word. We understand what that means. That's a buzzword.
That's ours.
They're not going to know what you mean by a furry convention. Don't say, it's a funny animal convention. That's what some oldsters say. That was the name of a 4-color comic. Do I really need this? Do I really need this? That was the name of a 4-color comic back in the 50s. They're not going to understand that either. Here's a little bit of would you be so kind? It's right there.
Would you be so kind as to tell me which one you would like?
Yes, very much.
Can we put them behind my back and pick an arm?
Okay, let's go for the Columbia side.
Okay.
Washington State, it's exquisite. Where was I? Oh, right. A person has just said, what is all this? If you give them an answer that they don't understand, for a very, very brief microsecond, it's going to make them feel uncomfortable. It's going to make them feel stupid. And it's going to put them off. If the answer you give is incomprehensible to them, it's going to put them off. You don't want to put them off. This gentleman had an excellent answer. Cartoon animals. Because everybody knows what a cartoon is. Everybody knows that cartoon animals are cute and floppy and happy and fluffy and fuzzy. So, yes, this is something they can understand. Oh, that sounds really cool. Now, why? That sounded lovely. Anyway, yes, I've been subtly hinting all morning long. I'm standing by registration going, I got this problem with my hand. I just, don't know what to do about it. And they kept saying, oh, I talked to the door side. They got a first aid team. I'm like, yeah, but the problem is with my hand.
I'm trying to fix it.
It's fixed thing.
I wouldn't do it that fast. You might throw it over your shoulder.
That's called a drinking problem.
Yes, I know. You don't want to abuse your alcohol.
Leave this here for you.
I am
Yes,
giving
you
you
will.
a bucket. I'm giving you a bucket of ice. I will be back.
Bucket of ice, thank you. Gewürztraminer from Washington State. No. Anyway.
No, thank you more.
Human beings are extremely visually oriented creatures. Now, I am eminently qualified to discuss this topic because I had half a semester of psychology in college 28 years ago. That's the extent of my credentials. So take this as you will, but human beings are very, very visually oriented. When I speak to you, when the face noises come out of me and float into your ears, your brain immediately starts to categorize those noises in terms of images. We form pictures in our head. And those pictures are what stick with us. That's the first impression that we get. To give you an example, if I say to you the word bottle, you get a mental image of a bottle. Behind your eyes, there flashed a picture of a bottle. Yes, you can look up here and actually see if you have no imagination. But yes, behind your eyes, there flashed a picture of a bottle. If I say to you apple, most of you will get a picture of a red, round piece of fruit. Some of you are going to get this boxy little computer. And some of you will get a pie. But that's the thing. That mental image is what sticks with us. Now, getting back to, remember how I said furries are always jumping to the defensive. And they try to describe us by describing what we are not. That is always the wrong answer. You do not describe something by describing what it is not. You know, what is in your glass? Well, it's not just rotted fruit. Okay, what's going in your mind right now? Having said that, if you had no more idea, would you want some of this? No. My favorite example is the biker convention down the road. You know, there's 450 Harley Davidsons all lined up out front, and this big guy comes out, he's got the giant beard, you know, he got the horrible hair. He comes out, his chains are clanking, and I say to him, so, what's going on here? What is all this? He says, yeah, just a bunch of us getting together, you know. A lot of people out there think that we're a bunch of murdering thugs, but that's not true. I don't think any more than like 2 or 3% of my friends have murdered anybody. All that stuff heard about, all the drugs and the prostitution, that's not really what we are. That movie, The Wild Bunch, that really gave us a bad impression on there. I mean, made us look like every single one of them was raping little girls. You know, that hasn't happened for a long time in this group here. You know. Okay. How many times did he say, that's not, we don't, this is not us, all the not is not, all the negatives? But did you see that series of pictures that lined up in your head? It's those pictures that are in that card catalog in your brain that are what you're going to refer to when you see these guys again. So, if you go and try to describe us what we are not, you are just going to be implanting in these people's heads images that shouldn't belong there, that have no business being there. Oh, but what if they've seen the CSI show? They probably haven't. It's a sucky show. And that episode was, what, 10 years ago now? Something like that? Okay, what if they have? What if they have? What if they ask you about it? What I've been telling people for a while is that if somebody already has a preconceived notion about furry fandom, you're not going to change it. Do not argue with people. Do not engage in debate. You've got better things to do than to try to convince someone who doesn't want to be convinced. Trust me, I've tried. All right.
Yeah, but what about that CSI show?
When I get asked that question, pretty much just laugh. Because what else can you do? It was a horrible episode.
Yeah.
The science was so moronic, it made me shudder. Plus, even the non-science was so moronic, it made me shudder. You do not have to have a PhD in chemistry to have figured out that there was something odd about that show. Those of you who have not seen it, I'll give you a quick summary. Here we have a furry convention in the desert in Las Vegas. And there is a fursuiter who goes out and gets hit by a car. Turns out, he not only got hit by a car, but